I've got a perfect match.
You do have a perfect match.
Oh, it's called Red Bull.
Thank you for joining us for our 31st episode of We Burn, We Rise. Today I'm joined by Hyperion, Fluffy, and Rxbbn. We're happy to have you here with us today with updates from all across the Phoenix Initiative. Keep in mind that... All right.
Keep in mind that
It's brought to you by Red Bull.
Open number 2.
I'm reading off an old
cold
script.
opens. We're not even doing the shows.
It's just cold open. This is content for the other episodes.
Oh my God.
Maybe I can
What
do
a
TikTok
disaster.
finally.
All right. Forget the intro. Hypers, you got anything for us?
Brought to you by Red Bull. If you pump your body full of enough Red Bull, you too can look 20 at 40.
Only for like 2 weeks, and then you're cut.
I bathe in it.
Red Bull just shows up at your door and's like, all right, old man, time to pay.
Yeah, there's a steep drop off at like 60. You're just like, nope. But until 60.
Oh, internally I'm probably wrecked, but...
Oh, 100%. You're like 85 internally.
Yeah.
5.
That wouldn't be a bad deal, though, to look like mid-20s up until 60 and then just go into AFib and done. It's like, okay.
Yeah, who wants to be 70 anyways? I don't want to change my diapers again.
Is this a cold open again? Oh,
It's all cold opens all the time.
It's all. Abdullah said there's no intro today. He's right. I mean, There's no intro. This is deadly. I found out that Abdullah and I are the same age. Nice. What do we got today? What do we got? So we got testnet making some grounds, right? K-Blaze is working on that. Somehow magically, I don't know how, but that also fixed our coin supply on our main net. I don't know. Things working wonders. That's going to be correct now, finally, on CoinMarketCap. So I have that submitted, and they are approving it, I believe, because we had a total supply of like 7,000 on there for some reason.
Oh, that was from BSC.
But why? Why did they draw just from that? They saw there's the contract of BSC, and then there's our Explorer, and they said, I don't know, let's just go for the BSC one. What? No. Ugh. So that's going to be correct now on CoinMarketCap. They won't. I don't know that they'll fill everything in because they're very picky on the rest of the stuff, but yeah. So that's happening. Our other tracking website updates, looking at coin info or something. Submitted a bunch of applications throughout the trackers. Bololex is interesting. We've been trying to get integrated there for a little over a month now, but I guess they're making grounds or something, and we're going to have our Phoenix blockchain being voted on Bololex in the meantime. So more on that soon, I hope. We'll see. I've been talking to the rep there, so that should be on any day now. We are almost with the white paper. FireC beta should be out hopefully in the next couple weeks. We don't know. A whole other separate dev team is working on that, so we don't have actual direct access to that. But when we can, we will definitely shed more information. So, and then multi-chain.
So we're getting closer with multi-chain. Really, the only hurdle in front of us right now is pretty much submitting that we have everything running. It's just their website was having some errors. They're having their web dev take a look at it, but we've got the node up and running. It looks like they finished all the integration testing, so things are possible now. The contracts are live on our chain, all of that stuff. So really all we're waiting on is multi-chain to finish up their end of things, and we should be good to go.
That just got my tits jacked. Brought to you by Red Bull.
Fluffy is working very strongly with the Red Bull sponsorship.
The unofficial sponsorship.
He even shaved to show that Red Bull gets you younger.
So the show I just did
Red Bull
was,
teases.
the show I just did, we had a special guest. It was some artist by the last name. I just remember his last name was Wall, Wahl. I'm sure everybody here has probably seen his paintings and don't realize it.
Wall?
Yeah, I think something like that. He does like kind of like neonistic looking portraits and stuff like that. I sold paintings to Pink and other famous people. In fact, he's got a Einstein picture that I think everybody's seen before. But anyways, he came up and told me at the end of the show, he was like, "Dude, why aren't you sponsored by Red Bull?" And I was like, "You think I haven't tried?" He's like, "I don't know, man. You're good enough at what you do. You should be sponsored by him." I was like, "Yeah, well, maybe you can put in a good word for me." At least I haven't apparently caught on that Red Bull keeps me young and fresh.
Oh man, I think you're talking about Eric Wall. Yeah, long hair with a Jesus archetype.
Yeah. Let me pull him up. Show you who he is. Eric Wall sounds right.
With a K, not a C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abdullah just asked about multi-chain. So, like RX said, it's on their dev right now. Their dev is checking into something that was submitted and something they have to check on their side.
Yeah. It's really just a interface bug with their onboarding system. I took a look at it. Basically, all that's happening is the API callback just isn't working how it should, so it's just not passing any data along. So we're close on that. Trying to think, do we want to share? I don't know if we've fully solidified it yet, but the node plan, do we want to share that yet or save that?
The what, huh?
Oh, yeah, I've seen this guy before.
In panel. You gave it a thumbs up, Fluffy.
Yeah, cool. Do what?
He's talking. I can always edit this out. He's talking about the 5K minimum.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Okay.
I was the one that brought it up. Wasn't I?
So,
long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then RX recently. Yep.
I saw Spaz was getting berated about setting up another node for somebody, and I figured before we pursue
that person's not. I talked to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. There should be a concrete list of rules because I'll edit this out. But someone just took 27K out of their node wallet and put it in.
That's kind of what I was. Yeah, I was taking a look. So we'll make this short and sweet. I'm going to be sharing a long form post in the node holders chat at some point very soon once we figure out the specifics, but we are currently looking at requiring node holders, both current and future, to maintain a balance of 5,000 Phoenix on the wallet that they have associated with the node. Reason for this is we see, it's really not a big deal at the end of the day, but we want to incentivize people to hold on to some Phoenix and almost treat it kind of like staking in case we end up eventually moving towards proof of stake. Something we haven't really talked about, but it is something that is on the radar as far as proof of stake goes. But at the bare minimum, we are going to require node holders to maintain a 5,000 Phoenix balance during a random check. So it won't be I can put 5,000 Phoenix on my node during the check. It's going to be completely random. That way everyone is treated completely fair throughout the process. And the way it's going to work is as soon as
we could probably get Rob to write a script or a bot for it, so we get an alert anytime somebody goes underneath that amount.
Yeah. So, but basically, if we do the check and a wallet does not have the minimum balance required for the node will stop functioning. So simply put, we just want to make sure that nodes are worth the money that is being spent on them between the server cost and just maintenance. And that goes on both ends. But we also want to make sure that Phoenix has a better value for the node holders. And we want to see kind of our node ecosystem grow. So I think I've said it before on chat, we have over 300 nodes, and our network does not require 300 nodes. We really only need about 5 to 10 to keep things running smoothly, but we want to incentivize people, 1, to have a node, and 2, to maintain that node. So when the time comes, we will post that in the Phoenix Nodes chat. Once we're ready with everything and can fully support the idea behind it. I originally was thinking the beginning of January is what we're going to be looking at. And then we'll give we'll grandfather people in if you've been running a node for a while. Like, we know who you are. We will grandfather you in, but at some point we will also have the same requirement to have 5,000 on that node. So that's kind of a major update that we think will bring a positive and meaningful change to the ownership of a node. And I'm excited for this because I think everyone will benefit from it. It may be a little hassle to begin with because I don't like moving Phoenix around, so I'd imagine somebody moving 5,000 Phoenix is going to make it a little worrisome. But as a reminder, we don't have the keys to any nodes. All we have is the access to the software in the system that runs them. So we don't touch any keys. We don't do any of that. You're still custodying that Phoenix, but we are going to start requiring a 5,000 Phoenix balance on there in order to run the node and for us to maintain it. Some of these nodes might slip through checks just because of how it works, but if the node is under that 5,000 Phoenix and it's like, if it's right against the 5,000 mark, I'm sure we'll take that into consideration. Maybe you're a new node holder, but that's kind of just what we're looking at. And I'll share a more eloquent and better said announcement in that chat probably in the next couple of days once we fully solidify the plan. So yeah, that's kind of it. I think this will be a good shift for us rather than letting everyone have a node, everyone mine. We're going to require that because at some point somebody will need to buy the Phoenix in order to run the node. And eventually, as time goes on, you'll be able to get a node with another node. So that's kind of the thought process behind it.
Yeah, and
brought to you by Red Bull.
And to emphasize, we do have system admins that are constantly working. RX was on point for the master node issue that was kind of not syncing correctly. Mouse is doing almost daily work on the nodes because there's issues popping up where people are changing servers. I mean, this is all things that we do for free. So, I mean, this is just another way to help, tighten the ecosystem a little bit, give value to those that are currently involved in nodes. And it's going to help with the future as well. So
yeah, because I mean, if you do the math, like, hold on, let me pull up my calculator.
We're thinking of enacting this by February, right? Was that?
I said by February. Like that's the official. Like, I want to have this set up and done 100% by February, but we'll start requiring new nodes very soon. But just to put numbers into perspective, effectively what this will do, as long as we have the same amount of nodes as we have right now, that will basically lock up 1.5 million Phoenix, which, what's our supply right now?
7 mil.
And that's that should be 5,000 per node, not 5,000. And then you open up as many nodes as you want.
Correct. It's going to be 5,000 per node, so that way everything stays fair. I like all of us on the team. We all maintain a balance. We don't transfer shit around. We don't transfer things around. Make that an easy cut for you. So, like, as a team, we do have the ability to have an advantage with the nodes, but we don't, because we want everything to be 100% fair. That's the whole purpose of this, is we want a good, stable, and fair blockchain that allows people to get into crypto. With
my nodes don't even mine for me.
Dude, I have so much stuff running on what should be my nodes that it's just...
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, like, we could be mining a lot, but we aren't. I mean, we set up a GPU mining pool last year. That was the first thing I did within Phoenix, and we just completely abandoned it and removed all of the data for it. So I think it'll bring a really good and meaningful impact, both on how many people we maintain inside of the ecosystem, but also onboarding new users, because when people see that Phoenix is constantly being dumped by our node holders, there are some outliers, but overall it's the people that are generating the coins that are the ones that are going to sell it. It's how it is in every market: Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of that. Miners are the ones that are bringing the liquidity onto the market, and so if we can control a portion of that, we'll be able to actually start growing and gaining interest, because we're not constantly on a downtrend. So
exactly.
It's kind of a multi-part thing. It's a lot of logistical stuff to work out, where 5,000 Phoenix in the future might be too high of a price point, but for right now, 5,000 Phoenix is a good price point.
I think 5,000 will scale with the price, because as the value goes up, we still don't want them to dump. So, and if we do change it, it would have to be in small increments. So what, 4,500, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah, I mean, if Phoenix, let's say Phoenix is worth $100, I don't think any of us could justify saying that for a node you have to hold 5. I can't do math. That's what, 50,000.
Cold open, yes.
Yeah, but in order for people, because there are a lot of people that have. I can't say they would dump irresponsibly, but in order to prevent dumping irresponsibly, we would have to limit the amount little by little versus, like instead of 5,000 at $100 each, we're going to reduce it down to 2,500. That would just overflood the market and reduce the price, and we'll end up back at square one.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and
we
you
see
still...
some of... You go ahead.
I was just going to say, you still own it. You're just holding it in your wallet. Huh?
Correct.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Solana has another similar issue with it, where whenever a giant batch of stake tokens unlock, you tend to see a small dump in price at that project's market cap. And when you see a couple percentage decrease in price at something that's over $1 billion market cap, like, people are eager to get their money out of that ecosystem. And it's not that, like, we're going to say, oh, no, you can't take these coins out. It's, if you want to run a node, you have to maintain the balance. If you decide you don't want to run a node anymore, you don't have to maintain that balance. We're not going to do anything other than just check to make sure that
running that node as well, they're going to end up with a balance of over 5,000 anyways. So there's no reason for them not to siphon that off into another account and then use that for, I don't know, buying a new Lambo or whatever.
Yeah. So
whatever kids do these days, I don't know. Yeah. I buy Red Bull, brought to you by.
So yeah, that's kind of all.
That's the 10th plug now.
Something like that.
Cool, that's a free case of Red Bull.
Yeah, I think the point is we're not asking you to lock the coins up somewhere on a third-party website. It's still yours. We're just checking that you're still active and you continue to abide by the rules. You can use your funds however you want, but then you just won't be a node holder anymore. It's just a minimum requirement. We're not taking your coins. They're yours. You don't want to be a node holder, go ahead. They're bye-bye.
They're in your wallet.
Yeah,
nobody has access to it but you and maybe Sam from FTX. Source subject? Too soon?
Bahama boys.
Either way, I think it's a good way to run things, because it'll mean everyone can actually have a chance at making more money, and I think what we should do, and this isn't something I've run by anyone here yet, I think we should go through and really solidify like a rule set for node holders that we follow ourselves unspoken, but we would like to see other people align with. It's not going to be like, oh, you need to do this every day. You need to do this every day. It's more just, hey, if you want to be a node holder, this is what we want out of the node holders. We don't need the extra. We really don't need the extra. Our chain will operate fine. If you want to participate, mine some Phoenix, whatever. This is what we want to get out of it. Because it's, at the end of the day, it is almost a business partnership between us and the holders, because that's
and also, I have had conversations.
What's the average that they make a month? I mean, the last time I was mining, I was making like, maybe $1,200 a month.
It's about it's under 1,000. It's right. It's between 800 to 1,000. Yeah, a month. Yeah, and Dustin just popped in. Hello, Dustin.
What's up?
Hey, buddy. Long time no see.
Yeah,
howdy.
How you guys doing?
Not too bad.
I'm digging that.
Fluffy wanted to look like you, so he shaved.
Oh shit! Wow. Hey, how's it doing? How you doing, little buddy? You look. Your daddy around?
My face feels cold.
I bet, dude. I don't think I've ever seen you with your bare face like that before. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, my face is weird.
It is. I'm just messing with you. How you been?
Oh, busting my ass off trying to make more money.
Yep, I understand that. Likewise here, it's been busy. Had a lot of interesting stuff happen the past few weeks that I'm kind of not shocked by, but I'm shocked by with considering how everything in the Web3 space works out. But what do you guys think about the whole FTX thing?
Oof.
So much oof.
So much.
Oof. It was interesting that BitBoy decided to go on a crusade and be like Alex Jones all of a sudden. He's like, I'm waiting to have my questions answered. There's his condo. Whoa, bro. Okay. I represent the people. I don't know. What do you think? Like, billions of dollars. Bye-bye.
Oh, has anyone here ever seen the movie Catch Me If You Can? Our fake admin player, he was back in the 60s, I think. He did check fraud. He ended up putting the CIA on a run, like a big manhunt for years. And by the time they finally caught him, they ended up using him as an employee instead of taking him to prison. I feel like that's what's going to happen with this.
It's only a matter of time, though, before he slips up. I really want to see what happens to him. I don't think, the government's going to crack down and do anything to him. I mean, after all, didn't he donate a shitload of money to him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to turn out to be the same thing where they're going to use him to get ahead of the game like they did with the Abigail guy. Whenever he was literally ripping off American Airlines and all kinds of stuff for payroll for years, and he did it so well that they ended up waiving his prison term, and he worked for the CIA for the rest of his life, I think. But yeah, it is what it is.
It's amazing how rules don't apply equally to everybody.
Yeah, it's not really that amazing anymore. I've kind of. Especially in Web3, that stands out a little bit more, and it's like it's kind of status quo now. It sucks, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's a big club, and you're not a part of it.
I shouldn't be shocked by the morality of people, but I still expect like some kind of decorum and with people's choices and judgments. I mean, he had to have known he was just fucking siphoning off so much money that wasn't his, and he would never be able to pay back. There was no escape plan. It's just steal everything and run.
So I really feel like situations like this.
What kind of human being can do that?
I feel like situations like this are definitely something that may have been conceived. You
had to.
Anyone else, if it had been anyone else, there would have been no question. But considering the time that we're in with cryptocurrency and blockchain tech, it's almost too convenient. It's like, look over here, pay attention to this while we're doing this back here. That's happened a lot this year. People don't realize it, and it just seems like it's a big ploy. To be honest with you, I've never seen anything like that taken as lightly as it was. You get the dude that investigated Enron on there, and then nothing happens.
I mean, we saw it during the banking crisis, and they took it very lightly, and they were bailed out. So this is just another one of those big boy clubs.
This isn't like this guy had like plans for Q4. Like Q4, we should have a huge influx of income coming in. We'll put that towards paying people back. I mean, this guy, his ultimate escape route from the very beginning, because the script was written inside of his code, where he could siphon off anybody's money at any fucking time. And I mean, as an investor, from an investor's perspective, I mean, that would definitely deter them from crypto if they saw something like that and they were thinking about, finally starting to dive in now that, say, like Bitcoin's on a downtrend. Because what's to say the next exchange won't do the same thing with very little to no repercussions.
You ever wonder how the market can move so quickly, in relation to all that stuff? That's why right there. There's no reason why Ethereum should trend with Bitcoin, period. They're two completely separate entities, but they do because of stuff like that.
Well, this isn't the first one either, because Robinhood had their little scandal, and it wasn't with just stocks, because Robinhood
Cryptopia
fucking people over left and right with, oops, there goes the language, left and right with crypto. They weren't even letting people cash out, I think, for a while. When
Cryptopia was the other one.
Was the first bad one, I thought.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they should be held accountable and taken out into the street and beaten publicly. But, I'm all for corporal punishment, so.
Wasn't he in the Bahamas the majority of this time? Or is he still down there, I think?
Yeah, I think his residency is in the Bahamas.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I find it a little hard to believe, though, that the feds couldn't get him if they wanted to, but they can go get El Chapo.
Well, they definitely can. It's the reason, it's how they want to utilize the situation, though, or the fact that they don't need to because it's their situation to begin with.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the reason why Gary Gensler decided to avoid all questions and connections. But anyway,
just how against the odds are in your, or how the odds are not in your favor, rather, with all this. But then again, when you think about it, if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it's still just a handful of people. All I've got is just that bigger, badder, louder aspect of us at the moment. And the second people start realizing that that's really all it is, then they won't have. They're scared, is what it is. Why all this shit's happening, all this random stuff's happening, is because they do. Whoever they is knows that the blockchain has kind of already gotten its claws into people, and it's gonna continue forward. That's why we're working on a CBDC right now, and why there's not any regulation as drastic as you would consider or you would think there would be right now. It's there's nothing they can do about it. It's not like alcohol where you can cut the source off. It's open source. It's free flowing throughout the entire. Unless short of cutting the internet off, there's no way to stop it.
I was just gonna say that's the way. You have to cut off the internet. Otherwise, what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, it has the NFT thing on there. I just noticed. Well, 2 weeks ago, last time I looked at it. Is it actually trading up yet, or what's the deal with that?
I don't know. I think he was working on it, or he took a break from it for a while and then just started working on it again.
He was working on Exchange API stuff.
Oh, that sounds horrible. I don't want to do that. API stuff?
Yeah, so he was working on that, and he said his next focus will be to get on the NFTs. Hopefully, maybe beginning of next year. Might be better for whatever reporting he does anyway. Start at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was one dude. That's pretty impressive, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and do we know if he's still doing Ducto Exchange, or is this the main one? Or
yeah, so he shared something a while back with like the plan. I can't remember, but I know ZegX is going to remain itself, but he is also working with DKD on their exchange or something. I don't know. I know the partnership between the two is still there.
Oh, I gotta tell you guys, I ripped open my new. So I just bought a $50-something thousand lighting console, and I noticed the monitors, which go up on a hydraulic jack sort of thing, it didn't take much pressure, like I could barely touch it, and the monitors would want to fall down. So rather than send it in, I decided to open it up yesterday and tighten it down. It's nothing like ripping apart a $50,000 computer just to get your blood pressure going, and then dropping one little screw inside.
Did I tell you about the time I bought Alienware computer? Set it on fire. Actually, almost burnt the house down.
What? No.
Yeah. So I was back
over
whenever I was
summer.
having issues. Yeah. See, I was having issues with my computer, so I was using someone else's machine, and I guess IPFS is SOB on computers because he gives me a call in the middle of the night, said, "Hey, that desktop is on fire." It's like, oh shit. So yeah, that was the first. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for it. It was literally 2 days, 20 or 48 hours outside of a warranty, and they luckily they honored it. So
Yeah, Alienware's been weird. I would say they're good, but I've had some issues dealing with support myself.
yeah.
boo, Alienware, boo.
Peasant.
So I got some cool news.
Price junk. That's what Alienware is. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure my laptop would smoke whatever you're on.
Yeah, back in school, that's all you wanted for
Maybe.
Alienware.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like bad.
There's no maybe about it. My Alienware's just the graphics card on it alone is almost comparable to the PC I liberated from a dear friend that that I solely use just for Telegram phone video chats. It's like I didn't need it, but my friend did. So
we just had a facility 20 minutes from the house. It's a Bitcoin mining place. They've been building it for about a year now. And if you've never heard what it sounds like to have 30,000 ASIC miners in a building, it's terrifying. You could hear that building probably half a mile away.
Yeah, those sounds are obnoxious.
Yep. They got some cool liquid cooled ones that like dip down into looks like antifreeze or whatever. They got some really cool rigs out now, but it's kind of interesting. There's Bitcoin mining in the middle of nowhere. Well, maybe that's the place you would want to do it at, though, I guess.
they're still on dial-up connection though. Speaking of, well, we didn't speak of, but since you get the shirt on, where'd you get the shirt, buddy? And when can we see it on Fireswag?
That's a question for Dustin. I got that from Dustin.
Oh, then it is definitely a question for Dustin. Dustin, where's mine?
Where's yours? Well, let's see. Consider Hyperion went through a lot of hell to get that thing. He got it, and
I got two of them
for probably a month. Yeah. Show the other one. The other one's probably my favorite.
The other one, give me 2 seconds.
Actually, a pair of socks would be cool.
Pair of socks. What about, there's something cool that's coming in 2023 that all holders get access to that is very delightful. And there's a hint that's been dropped to it.
Yeah, I don't like riddles. I'm not Batman.
So, did you know that we just dropped a jar of Katnip staking token? It's a big jar of cannabis.
Oh.
And just like regular cannabis, well, for me at least, I like to cure my stuff. So you can stake it for 3 months, and then after that 3 months is up, there's gonna be a nice little surprise that all holders get to redeem.
This is the other one.
I'm still wondering where my shirt is. I mean,
15 bucks to them in?
I kind of like the other one better. That one just feels like it's all plastic.
That one is definitely, we need a bit of more care on that one because we could.
Yeah, maybe just make it like the PNG version. Get this out.
Yeah, it looks like a tablecloth right now.
It kind of feels like one, but it's okay. Rep.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to get better stuff this time though. But
I mean, I'm just saying, I run into more high-profile people than Hyperion probably does.
Right. Well,
And I'm
true.
pretty sure I've advertised KronikKatz more than anybody has in front of thousands of people and millions of people probably.
all right, I'll send you one. He paid for it.
Do it with the what's it called? Where he has to pay for delivery, the COD.
COD, yeah.
Okay.
You know how many times I've blasted those cats all over video walls in front of thousands of people? And
You did get me to Miami, so I do appreciate it. We're going to have skateboards next year, so there's a NFT convention that's being held at the skate park in Chicago. And if anyone's ever been there, it's massive. And we're going to have some skateboards made for the first year. And there's a lot of clothing and merchandise. Like, I want to get the Chronic flat bill hats made, but I can't find anywhere that's reasonable.
you know, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a couple actual decks made with KronikKatz on them and then just give them away to high-profile people.
That's what we're doing. Yep.
VC Tony Hawk, give him one. I
Yeah.
don't know any other famous skateboarders.
He's probably the only one that's still skating, though. Everyone else is dead.
He's blowing out all his hips and shit. He's coming in and old man crutches.
Yeah, we've got that, and we got. Man, I'm not gonna say it just yet. I've dropped hints for everyone else, but if you can follow the Nug Crumbs, then you'll realize what it is that we've got coming out in 2023. So
You're assuming all of us are intelligent.
yeah, oh, that's right.
Have you met Spaz? I'm sorry.
So what's the one thing you
I
think
was spaced out and missed it anyway.
what's the one thing you think of when you think of KronikKatz? Typically. By the way, I got a funny story about this as well for whenever I tried to apply for a business card the other day.
Catnip.
What?
Catnip.
Yeah, catnip. What's catnip? What is catnip?
It's that marijuana ganja for the cats.
Yep. We got a branding deal for some flour.
I'm still
Oh, that's cool.
I'm still wondering what's going on with this Luna thing. How did I miss so much? I haven't even been on Twitter since the takeover.
That's probably part of it.
Yeah.
How many days this year have you spent at home? 5?
Do what?
How many days this year have you actually been at home? Been working half the year, haven't you?
Yeah. Even when I'm home, I'm still working. Yesterday was my day off, and I spent all day building designs and cable lists and everything else. So today's my day off before I fly out to the next show and for Olympia, and then but I'm actually supposed to pack and get my hair cut, and
Do you do pyrotechnics or are you just lighting?
Lighting and LED engineer.
Could you
And
do pyrotechnics?
I could, yeah. But you need to be licensed for it, and I'm not licensed for it. So I just light the gasoline and run away.
Yeah. I think we have KronikKatz 2023 somewhere. You could do lights and pyrotechnics for us.
Oh, yeah, if you can afford it. It's not cheap. It's very expensive.
But I'm your friend, and I'm going to be sending you free KronikKatz shit.
He's sending you shirts.
Well, you know, I've always liked the saying, you know, you don't do free stuff for friends because friends want you to succeed.
Right. Well, then it's $59.99 for your shirt. Oh, we're really good.
That's okay. It's $1,000 a day to book me.
I'll pay
We
it.
can both play.
Yeah. I'll send you the wrong location. You wind up in the belt somewhere.
My day rate's still my day rate. And then it's time and a half from 10 hours to 12 hours. So that's 2 hours of time and a half. And everything after time and a half is double time. And then there's also meal penalties. If I don't get fed a hot meal every 5 hours, then I go into overtime.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Plus gear. Oh, gear gets expensive.
Oh yeah, that.
Because you got to remember, most of the movers and stuff you see on shows, those range between $3,000 for the really cheap, crappy ones to upwards of $30,000-$40,000. So each.
What? Hold on a second. Wouldn't the human equivalent of Katnip be crack or coke? I guess no, because you have sativa and indicas. So sativa would be the catnip that makes them go crazy. So I had to respond to that. That was hilarious.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Look in the chat. Look in the chat.
Oh, I know, but like this conversation, I'm aside from like LSD. I mean,
Chronic coke.
I haven't really experimented a lot with a whole lot of drugs. So.
Oh, what? No.
You know that might be your thing though, because you know you've catered to the green people, but what about the toothless people? The green friendly people.
So you've heard of bulls and apes, right?
In fact, actually, I bought a sweater that reminded me of you. It was a cat jumping around through the snow, but it was a real cat in real snow, and it says cocaine across it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to arrive. I ordered it from China, and that shit still has yet to arrive a month later. But besides that, you haven't done a chronic cat coke yet.
Oh yeah, I have actually.
Oh,
yeah, but it's a
fluffy cat.
No, catnip. Oh, speaking of, I got something to show you. Just remind me after this, but the staking token that you get is the catnip, but the symbol is crack, but with a K. Crack. Crack.
Chronic crack.
I feel like we're overusing the K.
We get close, dude. 2 words is as far as I can go. You get into 3 and shit gets very, very uncomfortable. And I've tried to figure out a way to backpedal from that, and it's been hard.
Chronic crack cocaine.
No. We don't do that.
Brought to you by the Cool Kids Club.
It's all leading up to 2025 when he finally just releases Chronic Addiction.
Oh my god.
Actually, I kind of like the sound of that. Chronic Addiction.
All proceeds go to your local mental health experts.
It's
brought to you by Red Bull.
It's funny. Fluffy gets mad whenever I try to overuse the pH thing. Field team fix.
Yeah, I know. It's talking about me.
Or he's like, I just farted pH.
Oh my god. All right, before this goes any more off the rails, I'm going to record an outro. We didn't have an intro, but there could be an outro. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you again next week for episode 32 of our weekly broadcast. Wishing every member of the family a fantastic week, and we'll see you in chat.
I've got a perfect match.
You do have a perfect match.
Oh, it's called Red Bull.
There's the cold open. That's the cold open.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Is there an intro somewhere?
Awesome. Yeah, all right.